Are you struggling to find peace and direction amidst the chaos of daily life? Do you often feel overwhelmed by stress, uncertainty, and the relentless demands of modern living? Many of us grapple with these challenges, searching for a way to cultivate inner strength and resilience. In this video, we'll explore 10 powerful life lessons from the Stoic master Seneca, whose timeless wisdom offers profound insights into living a more meaningful and balanced life. Seneca's teachings can help us navigate our daily struggles, find contentment, and achieve a sense of tranquility, even in the face of adversity. Join us as we delve into these practical lessons that can transform your mindset and empower you to handle life's difficulties with grace and fortitude. 1. Examine your impressions. Epictetus advises, make a habit of saying to every strong impression, "You are just an impression and not the source of the impression." Then evaluate it with your criteria, primarily asking, is this within my control? By this exercise, Epictetus encourages us to continuously examine our initial reactions to events, people, and information. Step back and create space for rational thought, avoiding impulsive emotional responses. Ask yourself whether the situation is something you can control. If it is, take action. If it's not, let it go. For example, imagine you're stuck in heavy traffic and running late for work. You could have controlled this by leaving earlier to avoid the traffic. But now that you're stuck, which is beyond your control, instead of getting irritated or angry, remain calm and use the time productively, perhaps by listening to a podcast or audiobooks. 2. Everything is impermanent. Epictetus says, when giving your child or spouse a kiss, remind yourself, I am kissing a mortal. Change is an inherent part of nature. Everything around us is constantly evolving. Life is fleeting, and the people we love can be taken from us in an instant without any warning. This exercise encourages us to appreciate the preciousness of our loved ones and the impermanence of life. Understand that everything is temporary. Recognize how fortunate you are to enjoy the things and people in your life right now, knowing that this enjoyment could end unexpectedly. Learn to cherish these moments without feeling entitled or clinging to them. 3. Rehearse before. Epictetus advises, whenever planning an action, mentally rehearse what the plan entails. It's a common misconception that bad things only happen to bad people. The truth is, regardless of our moral standing, we all face challenging situations. This exercise is about preparing for these situations with the best of our abilities while accepting that the outcome is beyond our control. Imagine you're up for a promotion at work. Naturally, you aim to get the promotion, but the outcome isn't entirely in your hands. It can only be influenced by your efforts. Therefore, set your goal to be something within your power, such as putting together the best promotion file possible before the decision is made. While you may get the promotion, there's also a chance you won't. The key is not to dwell on the perceived injustice of not getting the promotion you feel you deserved. Instead, understand that despite your best efforts, outcomes may not always align with your expectations. 4. Exercice your virtue. Epictetus reminds us, for every challenge, remember the resources you have within you to cope with it. The Stoics believe that every situation and challenge should be seen as an opportunity to practice our virtues and become better human beings through consistent application. Consider the example of not receiving a promotion you felt you deserved. It's natural to feel upset, envious of the colleague who got the promotion, or even angry at your boss. Instead, by focusing on your overarching goal of being a virtuous person who acts with integrity, you can let go of negative emotions and view the situation as a learning experience. This perspective allows you to identify areas for improvement in your work performance. We all possess more self-control, endurance, and patience than we often realize. By continually exercising these virtues, we grow stronger and more resilient. 5. Pause and take a deep breath. Epictetus teaches us, remember, it is not enough to be hit or insulted to be harmed. You must believe that you are being harmed. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. This is why it is essential that we not respond impulsively to impressions. Take a moment before reacting, and you will find it is easier to maintain control. This advice is straightforward but challenging to implement. It is also incredibly important. The purpose of this exercise is to rationally evaluate our initial impressions, whether they are negative, such as insults, or positive, such as feelings of lust. We need to resist the impulse to react immediately and instinctively to potentially problematic situations. Instead, we should pause, take a deep breath, perhaps go for a walk, and then consider the issue with logic and calmness. By consistently practicing this exercise, you will notice significant improvements in how you handle situations, and others will also recognize these positive changes in you. 6. Shift perspective. Epictetus says, when somebody's wife or child dies, we all routinely say, well, that's part of life. But if one of our own family is involved, then right away it's poor, poor me. We would do better to remember how we react when a similar loss afflicts others. Epictetus highlights how differently we respond to events affecting others compared to when the same events impact us. It's easy to stay calm when minor inconveniences or even major disasters happen to someone else, but we often lose our composure when they happen to us. For example, if a friend breaks their phone, we might tell them it's just a phone and they can get a new one. However, if we break our own phone, we might react with frustration and anger. Similarly, if a friend loses a loved one, we might console them by saying that death is a natural part of life and that their loved one is in a better place. But when we experience such a loss ourselves, we can be overwhelmed with grief. This exercise encourages us to recognize that accidents, injuries, disease, and death are inevitable parts of life. While it is natural to feel sadness and distress, we can find solace in understanding that these events are a normal part of the human experience. The universe isn't targeting anyone specifically. These occurrences are just a part of life's flow. 7. Elevate your speech. Epictetus advises, let silence be your goal for the most part. Say only what is necessary and be brief about it. On the rare occasions when you're called upon to speak, then speak, but never about banalities like gladiators, horses, sports, food and drink, commonplace stuff. Above all, don't gossip about people, praising, blaming, or comparing them. Epictetus provides guidance on how to communicate wisely by prioritizing silence and being succinct when speaking. While we might not discuss gladiators today, we often talk about star athletes, movie and music celebrities, and other popular figures instead of engaging in meaningful conversations. We've been conditioned to think that serious discussions are boring and require more knowledge and attention than casual chats about celebrities and trivial matters. Epictetus also advises avoiding conversations that involve gossip and passing judgment on others. Engaging in gossip and judging people who are not present to defend themselves is neither virtuous nor constructive. Initially, this exercise might feel unnatural, but with practice, it becomes a habit. Gradually shift your conversation topics away from gossip and judgment, and occasionally introduce thought-provoking topics based on something you've recently read or watched. This can lead to more meaningful and mutually beneficial conversations with your friends. 8. Elevate your circle. Epictetus advises, avoid fraternizing with non-philosophers. If you must, though, be careful not to sink to their level, because if a companion is dirty, his friends cannot help but get a little dirty too, no matter how clean they started out. Epictetus emphasizes the importance of carefully selecting the people we spend our time with. Life is short, and temptations and distractions are always present, so we must be mindful of our actions and the company we keep. Surround yourself with people who are committed to virtue and personal growth. Aristotle suggested that we should seek friends who are better than ourselves, so we can learn from them and improve. When evaluating your social circle, ask yourself, are these people making me better? Do they encourage me to progress and hold me accountable? Or do they drag me down to their level? Be intentional about the individuals you allow into your life, ensuring they contribute positively to your personal development. 9. Handle criticism with humor. Epictetus advises, if you learn that someone is speaking ill of you, don't try to defend yourself against the rumors. Respond instead with, yes, and he doesn't know the half of it, because he could have said more. We often get offended when someone insults us or speaks negatively about us, taking it too personally and letting it ruin our mood and self-esteem. However, Epictetus teaches us that while we can't control what others say about us, we can control how we react to it. He suggests responding to insults with self-deprecating humor. For instance, if someone mocks you for being overweight, instead of getting offended and engaging in a pointless argument, you could reply, yes, I'm finally getting one step closer to being the heaviest person on the planet, and then laugh it off. By responding to an insult with humor, you show that you don't take the insulter or their remarks seriously. This approach can be more effective than a counter-insult because it frustrates the insulter without escalating the conflict. Humor deflects the insult and maintains your composure, demonstrating that you are in control of your reactions. 10. Stop talking about yourself. Epictetus advises, in your conversation, don't dwell at excessive length on your own deeds or adventures. Just because you enjoy recounting your exploits doesn't mean that others derive the same pleasure from hearing about them. We are all guilty of talking too much about ourselves, with studies showing that we do this 30–40% of the time. This is because talking about ourselves activates the mesolimbic dopamine system, the same part of the brain that experiences pleasure from food, sex, and money. It's no wonder we enjoy it so much. However, the truth is, no one wants to sit through a slideshow of your latest vacation or hear endless stories about your personal achievements. People don't find us as interesting as we think. To cultivate better relationships, we need to exercise self-control and refrain from dominating conversations with stories about ourselves. This approach makes our friends and acquaintances feel more valued and appreciated. 11. Stop judging. Epictetus said, someone bathes in haste, don't say he bathes badly, but in haste. Someone drinks a lot of wine, don't say he drinks badly, but a lot. Until you know their reasons, how do you know that their actions are vicious? This advice encourages us to distinguish between facts and judgments. Facts can be observed and verified, while judgments are often based on incomplete information and personal biases. By focusing on observable facts rather than rushing to judgment, we can foster a more patient and understanding outlook towards others. The reality is that everyone is doing their best given their circumstances, and we are rarely privy to the full story behind their actions. Thus, we should be patient and refrain from making hasty judgments. Instead, strive to view the world as objectively as possible. For instance, if you see someone who is overweight, note their weight as an observable fact rather than judging it as excessive. Even better, try to see them as a whole person with a range of characteristics rather than focusing on a single attribute. Judgments often bring unnecessary negative emotions, so it's better to see the world as it is and work from that perspective. 12. Reflect and grow. Epictetus teaches, admit not sleep into your tender eyelids till you have reckoned up each deed of the day. How have I erred? What done or left undone? So start and so review your acts, and then for vile deeds chide yourself, for good be glad. Stoicism isn't just about thinking, it's about taking action and continuously improving through reflection. Each evening, you should take the time to review your day and assess your actions. Find a quiet spot in your home where you can reflect on the day's events, especially those with ethical significance. Maybe you spoke ill of a friend or helped a colleague. Write a few lines about these incidents in your journal and evaluate your ethical performance for the day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where were my ethics tested and how did I perform? What did I do poorly and why did it happen? How can I improve for tomorrow? Reflecting on these questions helps you understand your actions and identify areas for improvement. If you realize you did something that might have compromised your virtue, don't be too hard on yourself. Follow Seneca's advice and forgive yourself. Show self-compassion as research indicates that forgiving yourself is more effective in preventing procrastination than self-criticism. Besides critiquing yourself, also acknowledge what you did well so you can replicate those actions tomorrow. Lastly, be grateful for the positive moments of the day. As we journey through life, we inevitably face challenges, uncertainties, and moments of doubt. The wisdom of Seneca and Epictetus reminds us that we have the power to navigate these turbulent waters with grace and resilience. By adopting the principles of Stoicism, we can transform our lives from mere existence to a fulfilling, purpose-driven experience. Remember, true strength comes not from avoiding hardship, but from facing it with courage and composure. Embrace the art of contentment, cherish the present moment, and find solace in the knowledge that you can control your reactions, even when you can't control your circumstances. Reflect on your day with honesty, forgive yourself for your shortcomings, and celebrate your victories no matter how small. Surround yourself with those who uplift and inspire you, and strive to be a beacon of support for others. Life is not just about longevity, but about living it widely and deeply, making each moment count. We've reached the end of our discussion, and I hope these insights have been helpful to you. Remember, you're an important part of this channel and community. If this video has helped you reflect, learn something new, or simply resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up so more people can benefit from Stoic wisdom. And if you haven't yet, check out our ebook on Stoicism and how to apply it in your life. Subscribe for a daily dose of Stoic wisdom and a more fulfilling life.